So a lot of you have been asking me, yo, D time, what do I do against this annoying D shifter? It's very annoying. It turns my turn off. It stops me from playing, and etc., which is totally understandable. Well, I'm gonna break down to you how to play around it, how to play through it, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how D shifter works and whatever's using the D shifter. But let's go ahead and tap more into it.
Hero D シリーズ D シリーズ Destiny Destroy です
D タイム
It's D タイム
Michael Bowden back again, and I am your host, Destiny Hero Mike. Welcome back to D Time. Get yours at DTimeExclusives.com. Man, they're selling like hotcakes. We're here, baby. It's always D Time, and in more ways than one. And before we get into it, please like this video. Give this video a thumbs up. I know a lot of people cannot stand the Dimension Shifter, especially hero users. You know, we use Destiny heroes, things that go off in the graveyard and whatnot. So go ahead and please give this video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, yes, this is more or less a hero-oriented channel. So subscribe. I really appreciate you guys. And also, please join that Discord link in the description below. It is very lively. It's growing. We have over 300 members. It's free to join. You want somewhere to hang out and talk all sorts of different strategies, not just hero strategies. Go ahead and tap that Discord in the link. And finally, thank you guys so much to my channelship memberships. You guys are absolutely great. So yeah, and one more time, get your shirts at DTimeExclusives.com, especially for this holidays. So I really appreciate you guys. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now you see here the culprit D shifter. This card, everyone hates it. You know, some people talking about, you know, this card should be banned, and you know how this is a problem. It's sacky, this, that, and other. Well, to be honest, this card is a double. It's a double-edged sword. I can't talk today. The card is a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword for the opponent sometimes, because sometimes if they don't draw it, now it's a dead card, or if they draw too many, it's dead. So first of all, you have to take it off the pedestal that it's on. Everybody knows what it does, but let's read it anyways. If you have no cards in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard until the end phase of the next turn. Everything is banished. Everything's macrocosmos for like 2 turns, right? So, but again, back to what I was saying, you have to take this card, first and foremost, you have to take this card off the pedestal that it's on. Sometimes it can get off and mess you up. Other times, they never draw it, or they draw it too late. So you gotta understand that the opponent is playing this card with great risk. So if they do succeed, understand how lucky they were to succeed with that. And I guess that's why people get so upset about this card. But the opponent can lose to this very easily. Now you guys see I have a series of cards laid out on how to deal with it, and I bet you're wondering, how does Imperm, Ash, Lightning Storm, Evenly Match, and Dark Ruler, and Called by the Grave, how do these work? So what's very upsetting about D shifter is it steals first turns. It tends to steal your first turn, right? So you have to think. They're usually going to do it on your turn. A lot of times a standby phase, so that you cannot use something like a droplet. That's why I have this down here, right? They're going to, or if you use something for cost during the main phase, they want to beat you out during the cost. So a lot of times they'll probably do it in the standby phase. And also, if you do it in the standby phase, another card that it can play around is the tactics. These are your no-goes, right? So the triple talent tactics. So because they activated it during the standby, talent isn't going to be able to resolve because it had to be activated in the main phase. As well as like Super Poly is a little janky because what you discard for cost is going to be banished, and we don't know what kind of board they're going to end up on. And again, a lot of times they do this on your turn to shut you out. So Super Poly, I would recommend cutting out. So first and foremost, if you're playing these cards, Forbidden Droplet, cut these out of your deck. Because a lot of D shifter decks, we gotta break down the decks that we're looking at. A lot of times they don't tend to OTK. A lot of the time, I'm not gonna say all the time. Because sometimes they can. Like I noticed Sprite, they're now playing D shifter. It's newer. I guess they're doing that to counter the tier limit matchup. But if you're maining these, take these out. And what I mean by that, a lot of the decks that play this Exo Sister, they usually don't OTK that crazily. They don't make a crazy board. Same with Flu. So those are still the top main 2 decks that use this card. Or anti-meta strategies, like Crystal Beast, stuff like that. They don't typically tend to go for OTK while under D shifter because they can't get their graveyard. They can't get their combos either, right? So they have to tread carefully with D shifter and make alternative plays. So it's more than likely going to go to a game 3. If you know what you're doing, it's going to go to a game 3. So what I mean by that is the first thing, you got to side these out, okay? So take those out because you can't use them. It's not going to be that crazy, all right? The second thing is this is going to be happening on our turn. D shifter, they're doing it to shut our turn down. That's the best time to do it, right? So you have to have no fear. And what I mean by no fear is cards like Infinite Impermanence, Ash Blossom, they don't care about D shifter. They play around D shifter. So because you gotta understand, they're also they're not gonna OTK you, okay? So they're cutting off their own supply. They're also cutting off their own graveyard supply if they also happen to use a graveyard heavily, such as Sprite. But if it's not Sprite, and if it's Exo or something else, they really shouldn't OTK you. So you want to make sure, because I side deck 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Impermanence. Make sure you have these 3 in. So you have 6 cards to their 3 shifters. So you're gonna see one of these, okay? And when you're going first and you draw one of these, because you know they're playing shifter, they're in the standby phase, they hit you with shifter, you pop off your infinite. You don't pop off anything. You just in your turn. Don't put anything on the field. Don't set your impermanence. Keep your impermanence in hand, because they could be playing board breakers like Lightning Storm or Evenly Match, because they know that they're going second, so they're gonna have their board breakers and even Dark Rulers. So don't build a board, okay? Because they're gonna evenly you under the D shifter, okay? You don't want or Lightning Storm or Regeki under D shifter. Just keep your joyous your ash in hand and your impermanence in hand, because these are hand traps that do not care about D shifter. Keep them in your hand and in your turn. And look them in the eye. Hold on. Look them in the eye. Look them dead in the eye and say, I dare you to OTK me. I dare you to OTK me on your own shifter. You won't. I have an impermanence. I don't care. I do not care about your D shifter. I have an Ash. I'm going to stop your power play, your power spell, your power monster. Whatever it is that's going to go off, that's going to be stopped. So, yeah. So, I dare you to OTK me. I dare you to play around this impermanence while you're under your own D shifter. Please. Because your play isn't going to be that crazy. And if it's Flu or Exo Sister, it's really not going to be crazy. You're really not going to OTK me. If it's Sprite, you might have a chance. But I'm going to tear your butt up with this Imperm or Ash Blossom. And now, by the end of your turn, after I shut your turn down with one of my hand traps, your D shifter is dissipated. And now I win. I have my Fusion Destiny in my hand. I got my gas. I got my Hero Lives. I have no cards on the field. I save my Imperm, I save my Ash. We don't care about that. We play around D-Shifter, we punish D-Shifter all day. There's nothing they can do about it in most cases. Now your second, this is more deeper, okay? Now if you want more cards, to counter D-Shifter, you can play your going second cards while you're going first and in your turn. Because they're under a D-Shifter, a lot of times they're not going to be able to OTK. So now going back to your turn, and after the D shifter, it's the same concept, except you're not going to be able to have a quick effect, right? You're not going to have these are not interrupts. So it's the same concept as Ash and ending and Imperm and ending with nothing on the board, and you just end with that in your hand. You basically they have to build a board, because if they don't, the D shifter is going to wear off, and their board is going to be like, if they don't want to go OTK'd, right? So I'll go -1, even if you don't have set up a board, right? I'll just end my turn and watch you set up a board and watch you fail to OTK me, and now I just clean up whatever. We're not on a D shifter anymore, and that's that. And also the same goes for Dark Ruler. So you have a lot of choices. For me, I go 3 impermanents, 3 ashes. That's 6 cards versus 3. If you want to take it, maybe you could go 9. Maybe you could go evenly or add the Dark Ruler. So that's 9 cards versus 3, and that's gonna. Then you got the 1 Saki called by. I had to include that just for fun. I definitely had to include that, but yes, that is one of the fundamental ways how you play. Well, you save your resources, and that's how you play around D shifter. You punish them, and there's like at that point, like they're not gonna play around imperm, man. They can't play around an imperm. Same with an Ash, unless they have like a call by, but I doubt that, right? So then like you've got even more hate. You've got even more anti D shifter hate. So all these cards, this is, if you play it right, you don't set anything. You just in your opponent, you in your turn, and you look at your opponent dead in the eye and just dare them to hit you, dare them to OTK you under their own D shifter. Man, when you have one of these cards in your hand, you're good. And then on your following turn, while this card wears off, you can play your turn like normal. You can just play your turn like any other time. And now their board is like mediocre. And we know how explosive heroes are. We know we got Fusion Destiny, a hero lives, and all that stuff, right? Which is all at 3. So I hope this was a help to you. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I hope this was helpful for you guys on how to play around that. It's very simple. It's just a matter of like chess. It's a very chessy type of interaction on how you deal with D shifter. So I hope this helped you guys. Also, please get your D-Time hoodies exclusively at dtimeexclusives.com. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I will catch y'all in the next one.